Alright, what's up everybody, this is Sam from Zroder Bet. In this video I'll be covering all the picks, the bets and the prop bets that I'm taking for UFC 262, Oliveira versus Chandler. Before getting into it, if you don't follow me yet on Instagram, feel free to start following me. I put up there some of the bets that I'm taking, so if you wish to take it prior to the video, feel free to follow me, you get this early. So this video will be divided as follows. I will talk about the couple of fights that I didn't cover on my breakdown, so the first two that I have here on the spreadsheet. Afterwards I have all in my other video for the breakdown, so feel free to connect there to the other video, you can listen to the breakdown, right? Then I'll be covering the prop bets that I'm taking. If you would like to support the channel, stick until the end, I can show you how through Patreon, okay? So between Priscila Cachoeira versus Giza Mazany, it's a tricky one, guys. It's not that easy to predict. Cachoeira is known being a zombie girl. She just moves forward like all the time with the chin up. She gets hit by every single shot that is thrown at her, but she's just not phased. Her head doesn't move a bit, you know, so she's just too strong. Her chin is just granite. Mazany is a girl that is evolving more rapidly. You know, I like what I've seen from her when she moved to flyweight. She's a very big flyweight. She's very strong, and she's been training hard. You know, you can see improvements that she has on her hands, on her wrestling, even on her grappling. So it's a tricky one, guys. My pick is Mazany, but to bet on this one, I'll be just going with Cachoeira by TKO, because I don't see, you know, probably there is more value on Cachoeira than on Mazany, but it's quite tricky, and I don't want to bet Mazany to a decision at a plus 100. And also, to me, if you're gonna bet this fight, gonna be Cachoeira by TKO. And I will show you guys on the prop bets. I also have a prop bet on Mazany, but it's just super tiny. So Christos Giagos versus Sean Soriano, another tricky one. I couldn't see the last couple bouts on Soriano, unfortunately. But what I have seen from him, he's a guy that has very good stand-up. He throws hard, he's aggressive, he has good volume. He has a good guard, good game from his back. He's active, he throws submissions. So we're gonna we're gonna see Giagos trying to out-wrestle him. He may even able to in the beginning, but I don't think he's gonna be able to hold Soriano down too much for too long. So it's gonna be tricky in standing. I think Soriano has more chances because he hits harder, you know, even though Giagos has the range. So it's back and forth there, guys. It's a tough one to predict. I have this nearly 50-50. That's why I'm betting Soriano. I'm not betting more than 1% of my money, because I couldn't see how he's doing his latest bout, but I have a good feeling that he's gonna come on top. All right, so bet on Soriano, 1% of my money. Match Chanel versus Giro Boturin. I'm picking Chanel but betting Boturin. Jamie Pickett versus Jordan Wright. I'm picking and betting Pickett, my biggest bet of the card. Grundy versus Vanada. Picking and betting Grundy, very small bet. Tanya Shevchenko versus Andrea Lee. I took Lee in an early market. I'm betting 1% of my money on parlaying her. And if you want to take the early market bets, I have on my Patreon that I'll show in the future, in the end of this video. Jacare Souza versus Andre Muniz, my second biggest bet of the card on Souza. Tucker Lutz versus Kevin Aguilar, picking small bet on Lutz. Shane Burgos, picking and small bet on him against Edson Barboza. Penil Dariush versus Tony Ferguson. I said in the other video that I wouldn't be betting this. I decided to bet Dariush. I think he's younger. You know, he's probably hungrier here. We have seen Ferguson is not at his best in the last two bouts, and you know he has been so many wars. So I think this is probably going to be a factor here. It's a small bet from my end. I see some people very confident on Dariush. I would be careful here, but probably a bet on Dariush is worth it. Okay, so on to the prop bets that as we spoke about. I just hid one column here, guys. This is part of one of my Patreon tiers that I show line by line what I'm doing. In here you guys can see only the prop bets, but I have parlays and the single bets, and I have for future events as well. Yeah, so just to show you guys real quick, you know, so it's basically I have for multiple events, combining many of them. So if you're interested into that, stick until the end. So just talking real quick about the prop bets, like I said, Sean Soriano by decision, I think it's a very good one, because I expect that he wins this striking battle, but I see Giagos as a tough guy, so not gonna be easy to finish Giagos. So I like this one. Lutz versus Aguilar under 2.5. I think there's value there. I think both of these guys don't have the best chin in the world. You know, actually they don't have bad chin, but both of them have good power. So I think it's an interesting one. I think both of them have some chance to finish either one by TKO or submission even, you know. So plus 170, it's a small one for me, but I like it. Priscila Cachoeira by TKO, this is also a very interesting one. Mazany round 3, it's not a bad one because, like I told you guys, Mazany, she's very strong. I think she has some power in her punches, you know. And Cachoeira, she can certainly withstand huge amount of damage, but maybe on the round 3 she can, you know, get taken down, give her back, get rear naked choked, something like this, you know. So this is what I'm expecting, but it's a very tiny amount for me. It's not too confident here. Pickett versus Wright under 1.5. This is a good one. Pickett versus Wright under 2.5. Obviously more chances. This is better, but obviously it's more expensive. Mike Grundy by decision. It's not a bad one. Vanada by TKO as a cover bet because I think Grundy wins more likely by decision, and Vanada, it's tricky to see what Vanada gonna do, but by TKO it's not a bad one because he feints a lot. He has dangerous hands, dangerous knees, pins, you know. So he could finish Grundy. He has the range over Grundy. So yeah, I think Vanada by TKO is not a bad one. Jacare Souza by TKO. I saw these lines actually in fight odds. If you have this is a great one. Where I bet this was like plus 250, so it's just huge, the discrepancy. When I saw the lines where I bet was just ridiculous. Souza by TKO at plus 250, I wouldn't take it, but by TKO at plus 700 is excellent because, like I said, Muniz doesn't have the best hands in the world. He has the chin very up, has been KO'd 4 times if I'm not mistaken. So in Jacare, he can push the pace, you know, he can land the overhand, he can, you know, keep basically throwing shots, you know, so stay tuned for that. Take a look at that. And, you know, Jacare, if he starts landing, he can also take Muniz down and finish by ground and pound. So I think this one is a good one, but at minimum plus 500 range for my money, you know, more expensive than that, I would just bet Jacare straight as I have. Souza versus Muniz go the distance, also a good one, also to cover a little bit myself, because Muniz can win this. I would say that Muniz by decision he has some chances, you know, because you know he has the range, he's younger, etc. You know, so it's not impossible that he wins. I just think that Souza is the better fighter, you know, tougher competition. I said in my breakdown that he has the better cardio. I really think he does, you know, even at 43. So, and this is probably going to distance, guys. So both of them going to the distance, not a bad one. Pickett versus Wright under 2.5 with some other parlays, like Souza Muniz go to this, and I'm betting also with Chookagian. Chookagian by decision is very likely, you know, even though I have more bets on, I didn't add here, I will add later, by Araujo by decision is also a very good one, because she's at plus 200 by decision, Araujo, but Chookagian can win by decision, so it's not a bad one either, but it's like minus 110, so it doesn't make much sense that I bet both of them by decision like that, so I'm just throwing, you know, Chookagian here just to try to cover a little bit in case you know, I lose the bet on Araujo. So Chookagian by decision was, I made a round robin here basically, you know, I just made it, I separate to make it clear to account for later on. Okay, Chanel by TKO at plus 400, it's an interesting one. I don't like Rogero's Botorin striking, even though he has some credentials on his striking. I think if he doesn't get to the ground, or if Chanel gets back up, there's a good chance that Chanel gonna finish him by TKO. Ferguson by TKO to cover a little bit on Dariush, and then Oliveira in round 3. It's also a quite tricky one. You know, this is probably the best prop bet on this one is Chandler by TKO, but the price shows it, you know. So I'm not gonna be taking Chandler by TKO because I think Oliveira should win this one. I may even put some money on Oliveira, you know. I actually would like to take him at plus money, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So my pick is Oliveira. I think it's a quite tricky one to bet though. So yeah, I have a small money on this one. Oliveira wins in round 3. Okay. So guys, just to show you, if you'd like to support me on Patreon, I have basically 3 tiers in the early releases as an example on this card like I spoke about. If you've been following me, you know that I took a bet on Andre Lee at plus 160, you know. Now you can find Andre Lee by decision, probably that money, so for you to see how much the line can move. This comes back to you pretty quickly, you know, with the early releases. And then here are the prop bets. If you're watching this from Patreon, thank you very much. And this is the early releases and the prop bets. And then every single bet that I do for $50 a month. All right, and I'll be soon moving to Patreon, my lock of the night, you know, and these calculations that I have for my handicapping is gonna also be moving to Patreon, okay, as a gift to you guys on LFA 107 that I'm pursuing upload this video. So I'm gonna be taking a bet on this Luciano Ramos guy, because I think the line is off. So just so you guys see this, the way I see, you know, the likelihood of each event, you know, and then when I take the bets, okay. So I'll be moving this to Patreon too, okay. So it makes more sense for my supporters. All right. So guys, I hope you liked. Please, if you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, consider supporting the channel, and stay tuned for the future videos. This is Sam from Roda Bet, bringing the best, most consistent and transparent betting strategy for you.